First up today is Heather Staines. I'm always pleased to see Heather on the circuit, and I'm also always mildly amused when I do see her. She's the only person I know who's got those Google Glass things. And she's always tremendously patient whenever I see her at a reception or anywhere. There's a whole horde of, I don't know, Google groupies wanting to have a go on these things. She's always tremendously patient letting people have a go, so kudos to her for that. I've been asking people for an interesting fact about themselves as I do the introductions and the transitions between these things. You've got their bios in the pack. I think the most interesting thing, and I'm selfish here, about Heather is that much like Charlemagne, Hans Christian Andersen, Marvin Gaye, Emile Zola, Emmylou Harris and Michael Fassbender, she shares a birthday with me, although I suspect some of those people don't actually celebrate their birthdays anymore.
Thanks, Terry. I'm glad to see so many familiar faces staying to the bitter end. So a little bit about Civics. We were a Stanford research project called the Stanford Intellectual Property Exchange, thus the name. And we were designed to combine computing power and try to throw that at issues of copyright, which as we know are ever more complex. We spun out of Stanford in October 2012, and I joined the company a couple of weeks later. And we spent this last year partnering with institutions of different sizes and also publishers in key market segments to better understand in the wilds of higher ed what the copyright concerns are. So from a library standpoint, we work with librarians to understand their holdings through ingesting their link resolver data. We also include metadata from other copyright agencies, information on open access, and also public domain content. Incorporating all of this into our service allows for a rise in visibility of subscription content, ensures for an easier mechanism to comply with copyright, and provides a great experience both to the faculty members or the librarians and students who are ultimately consuming the content. Professors log into the learning management system, so we intercept them in their natural habitat, and they can see immediately if an item that they're looking for in their course is available through a library subscription, raising again the visibility of the role the librarians play. If content is not available through a subscription already, they can see in real time what a per student price will be for that item and any restrictions that the publisher may have on licensing. So as they build their reader, they can keep it cost appropriate to the course. We're working with publishers to ingest metadata about their content, and for publishers who have their own platforms or who are hosted, we can actually come to your site and download a PDF when an instructor adds it to the course, giving the students a nice clean publisher version to work with. Or if you prefer, we also work with digital file creators like CoreSource, CodeMantra, Firebrand, and others to ingest metadata in digital files, again, so the student gets a nice publisher PDF and not a bad photocopy from 1987. From a student standpoint, again, they access their digital reading list in the learning management system, so they don't have to change their behavior. They can buy all of the items for a course, or they can just buy individual items, and we ensure that they're not double paying for something that their library already has a license for. The instructor can now see across their course what content the students are downloading or purchasing, so if there are items that are not being used, they can decide whether to drop it, swap it out, or force the students to read it by giving the quiz. We also provide assessment tools for librarians, so there's a dashboard. They can look at content used per department or per course, but they can see what their spend is per publisher, so that when they're getting to make their budget decisions, they've got more information at their disposal and can make more choices. From a publisher standpoint, publishers see which institution, which course, how many students use their content, and whether that was within a license or whether that was a paid use. This is great information to use internally, both with editorial as well as sales. It's more information than has been available in the past. We're also developing a publisher portal so that if you want to go beyond those initial analytics, you can go in and look up an item. And that's information that's good to share with pesky authors and very determined editorial board members who constantly want to know where. We're also working with our publishers in the MOOC and online space. Publishers who partner with us can pass along MOOC requests, and we can handle that on their behalf, thus relieving some of the pressure from the already harried permissions departments. Within 48 hours of a MOOC or other online experience going live, we usually see accesses from at least 140 countries. Now this data can be available back to the publisher, to the librarian at the host institution, and to the instructor, and they can provide all sorts of interesting results. results. One price definitely doesn't fit all today. So we view Civics as a laboratory where publishers can experiment with new business models without having to commit resources to development on their own or their host platform. So in summary, we collect data about information that's available either through the library or other sources and put it in one easy-to-use location. Our easy-to-use professor tools allow 1 or 2 clicks to select the item that you want to use in your course. Our LMS integration allows for easy access both for the faculty and the student and a point of purchase if need be. And our assessment tools ensure that publishers can actually do more with the data they collect on the content that they're producing. So finally, when it comes to stewardship of knowledge, let Civics help you restore visibility to the role that library subscriptions play, ensure that instructors have academic independence when they're assigning content, provide a better end user experience for those students.